Hello and welcome back to the bonus content in chapter 4, lecture number 28. So there is one small step we need to do before we switch to Unity, and that's also making a Big Mac from the high poly model. We created one from the low, so we created a low version of this building and then we baked it. What we do now is make a bake from the high poly. The reason is because we have all different types of the UV layers, and if we put this building in Unity, it will ignore all our nodes, and that will be quite a painful process. And the other thing is that it needs a lot of material textures, and that will slow down Unity. So repeat this process. Again, I will show you how to do this, but not showing you all the baking things, because that's sort of a repeating step. So I want to move these base objects to layer 3. Then we move this building to layer 2. We duplicate it, move this to the bottom. All right, we can remove all the materials. So we do not decrease the vertices. This model is perfect for a bake. We need to apply a new material, image texture, open, and we can use the low poly bake, but I also like to put them in different folders. So create a low, low, and high. And if we save the maps, we're going to put them in high. But first we open it. All right, it's there. And we need to remove all the UV maps. All right, check the scale. That's right, of course, because we didn't change it. And we can UV unwrap this. So we do the same thing as the low poly one, smart UV project. And you will get, it needs more time because there are way more vertices that needs to have a place. But what we also need to do, and that's the step where I forget, is remove the bottom faces. So go to the face mode and select them all. X faces. We didn't remove the rear. No. All right, go for a new map and take a look what happens. Because this square was all positioned for the bottom, and we have more space now. All right. Cool, very nice. So we have UV map, we have material, and apply the low poly bake map. So I think if we grab our high poly, move this to the bottom, still selected, shift right mouse button for the other version without any material, only the bake material. We go to the render settings and click diffuse. Everything is still set. Yes, this will take another, I think for baking all the maps, like 25 minutes or so, but it's worth it, or else it will not be a good result in Unity. So hit bake and we'll be back if I rendered all the maps. So save them. If you have the maps, press F3 and put them in the high. So, and after that you can put your low poly bakes in the low folder. Yes? All right, let's go for a bake. All right, I have all the maps, normal, diffuse, spec, and ambient occlusion. A very key step to transform your building into Unity. So let's make this up. We have the main building right there with all including maps. We put that back, sorry, in the first layer. And then we have a very low building and a high poly building, including bake maps. So what you can do is already attach the maps on your building. So call this low high poly bake. Yes, and this one is low poly bake. If we go to the node editor, you can see the map. If you change the texture, let's put these into the low. Or you cannot do that. Oops. Okay, click on diffuse, open it, duplicate, go non-color data, and click spec, and put this into the specular and the normal map, open at vector normal map, and put this into the normal. And if you go to the material settings, you will see your bake. How lovely looks this. So I already mentioned that there should be a sort of artifact on this detail, and we can fix that by going to the edit mode, UV, and look for the diffuse, low poly bake diffuse, and find this face, and just move this a little bit to the right so it looks better. All right, and we can do the same for your high poly bake node editor. Replace your diffuse by principled. Yes, good. And yes, this is the high poly diffuse. Duplicate, we want the spec as well, and non-color data, and the normal map. The ambient occlusion will be imported into Unity. Add vector normal map, add vector normal map, yeah, into this. Great. So we're now ready to save the files so we can import them into Unity. I like to start with the low poly version, and before we do anything, I want the origin from the low poly and the high poly on the same place. So shift left mouse button on the second layer, click one of these buildings, left click, put the cursor right there, press spacebar, set origin, type this, you will get this, and origin to 3D cursor. And you click again, now you have the high poly, spacebar, set origin to 3D cursor. This is a very key step to align these buildings in Unity. All right, so the next thing you can do, or you should do, is you click on the, let's also call this high poly. And low poly building. I want to save them in blend files and remove all the other files that are stored in the scene. So if we select this layer, we want to remove all the other files. So we're going to do that. And I'm selecting the first layer, including all the materials. So remove everything, these and these as well. Go back and file, save as. We go to the bake maps, and this is the low version, and call this building 01 LOD1. Yeah, save as blend file, and Ctrl Z, we turn this one back, and now we remove this building, go back to that one. You can store it in this layer, that's no problem. File, save as, and high, and call this 2, save as blend file. All right, and now you can just restore everything. So everything is back, and even your high poly model, and save this as your main file. Okay, so what we have the bake maps, and we have low and high poly blend files. And with these files, we can start inputting them in Unity and make a nice looking result. That's what we're going to do in the next lecture. So I recommend that you have Unity installed. This course is not about Unity. This is a bonus lecture. So the feedback I had was from Unity users. How do you make a bake and how to put these into Unity? Well, that's where these lectures are all about. So not about installing Unity and how to use the program. So keep this in mind. All right. So see you in the next lecture in Unity. Bye bye.